Right, you lot, buckle up, because we're about to dive into a world where metal meets metal, and the only thing bigger than the trucks are the crashes they have. I'm talking about those behemoths of the road, the ones that make the ground tremble with every gear change. We've scoured the internet, braved the darkest corners of YouTube, all to bring you the most wince-inducing, jaw-dropping truck accidents ever caught on camera. These aren't your fender bender, oops, I scratched the paint kind of accidents. We're talking about the kind that'll make you spit out your tea in shock and awe. So, if you're brave enough to witness the sheer destructive power of these metal monsters let loose, then stick around. You might learn a thing or two about what not to do when you're behind the wheel of an articulated lorry. First up, we've got a real humdinger for you. Imagine this, a dual carriageway, sun shining, birds tweeting, and then BAM! Out of nowhere, a lumbering truck decides to swap lanes with all the grace of a hippopotamus in a tutu. The result? A collision that sends cars scattering like skittles at a bowling alley. And just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, another behemoth comes barreling in, seemingly oblivious to the carnage unfolding before its very eyes. It's a symphony of crunching metal, shattering glass, and the screech of tires desperately trying to find purchase on the tarmac. Now, I know what you're thinking. Clarkson, you said shocking collisions, not just some fender benders. Well, hold your horses, because it's about to get a whole lot more intense. How about a truck carrying a load of logs that decides to shed its cargo like a dog shedding fur in summer? Picture this. You're minding your own business, cruising down the highway, when suddenly it starts raining timber, and not the gentle pitter-patter of a light drizzle, but a full-blown downpour of massive tree trunks. It's enough to make even the most hardened lumberjack soil himself. But wait, there's more. We've got trucks jackknifing, trucks rolling over, trucks colliding with trains, bridges, and even the occasional low-flying aircraft. Okay, I might have made that last one up. It's a veritable smorgasbord of automotive mayhem, all served up with a side of twisted metal and shattered glass. And the best part, we've got it all on camera from multiple angles, so you don't miss a single second of the action. You'll see the fear in the eyes of the drivers, the shock on the faces of the bystanders, and the sheer destructive power of these metal behemoths when they decide to cut loose. So sit back and grab a cuppa, or something a bit stronger, you might need it, and prepare to be amazed, horrified, and maybe even a little bit entertained by the sheer chaos that unfolds when massive trucks decide to throw their weight around. Emergency services rush to the scene, trying to make sense of the chaos and bring order to the madness. Tow trucks and cleanup crews work tirelessly to clear the wreckage, ensuring the highway is safe once more. News reporters arrive, capturing the aftermath and sharing the shocking details with the world. And as the dust settles, drivers reflect on the harrowing experience, grateful to have survived such a terrifying ordeal. Now, I know what you're thinking, Clarkson. These crashes are all well and good, but what causes these metal behemoths to go haywire in the first place? What are the underlying factors that lead to such catastrophic events on our roads? Well, my friends, it's not always as simple as a rogue squirrel darting across the road or a particularly distracting billboard. There are multiple layers to this issue, each contributing to the overall risk. You see, driving one of these juggernauts is a bit more involved than popping down to the shops in your mum's Corsa. It requires a different level of skill and awareness. These lads and lasses are often on the road for hours on end, battling fatigue, tight deadlines, and the constant pressure to deliver the goods on time. Fatigue alone can significantly impair a driver's reaction time and decision-making abilities. And let's not forget about the ever-present threat of distractions, from mobile phones to CB radio chatter. Even a momentary lapse in concentration can lead to dire consequences. Then there's the small matter of physics. These trucks have a higher center of gravity than your average hatchback, which means they're more prone to tipping over if they take a corner too quickly or encounter a sudden gust of wind. The sheer size and weight of these vehicles make them more susceptible to such incidents. And don't even get me started on the braking distances. Let's just say that stopping one of these beasts is like trying to halt a runaway train with a feather duster. The stopping distance is significantly longer, making it harder to avoid collisions, but it's not just driver error and the laws of physics that are to blame. Sometimes it's the vehicles themselves. Mechanical failures can occur without warning. Faulty brakes, bald tires, overloaded trailers, these are all recipes for disaster waiting to happen. Regular maintenance is crucial, but not always adhered to. And when you're talking about a vehicle that weighs as much as a small house, even a minor malfunction can have catastrophic consequences. The aftermath of such accidents can be devastating. So the next time you see a truck driver on the road, spare a thought for the challenges they face on a daily basis. Their job is far from easy and requires constant vigilance. It's a tough job, and one that requires a unique combination of skill, concentration, and a healthy dose of luck. These drivers are the unsung heroes of our highways, ensuring that goods are delivered safely and on time. Now, for the bit you've all been waiting for, the carnage. The aftermath of a collision is both fascinating and terrifying, because let's be honest, there's a certain morbid fascination with seeing what happens when a hunk of metal weighing the same as a herd of elephants decides to go tango with a lamppost. The sheer force and destruction can be mesmerizing. A little love tap between a truck and, say, a Fiat 500 is going to have a somewhat predictable outcome. The smaller vehicle doesn't stand a chance. Think of it like a heavyweight boxer going up against a particularly enthusiastic toddler. The disparity in size and power is almost comical, yet tragic. Spoiler alert, it doesn't end well for the toddler. The smaller vehicle is often left in ruins. But when you've got two titans of the tarmac going head to head, well, that's when things get really interesting. The stakes are higher and the results are more dramatic. Imagine the kinetic energy, the sheer force of the impact. It's a clash of giants, and the energy released is immense. It's enough to make your hair stand on end, or at least what's left of it after witnessing such a spectacle. The drama of the moment is unforgettable. We're talking crumpled bonnets, shattered windscreens, and enough twisted metal to make a sculptor weep. The destruction is both artistic and horrifying, and that's just the vehicles. The damage extends beyond the metal. The surrounding environment doesn't get off lightly either. The impact leaves a trail of destruction. Guardrails get turned into abstract art installations. Lampposts develop a sudden and dramatic lean. And trees, well, let's just say they learn to fear the sound of an approaching diesel engine. The landscape is forever altered. But it's not all about the destruction, folks. There's another side to these stories. Oh no, there's a serious side to all of this. The human element cannot be ignored, because amidst the wreckage, there are often stories of remarkable human resilience. People survive against the odds. Tales of survival against all odds, of quick-thinking bystanders, and of the emergency services who put their lives on the line to rescue those trapped in the aftermath. These heroes emerge from the chaos, reminding us of the strength of the human spirit. Now, you might think these are just isolated incidents, but sadly, these metal monsters are causing mayhem on a regular basis. Remember that time a runaway truck took out half of a motorway bridge? Or when a petrol tanker decided to play dominoes with a line of parked cars? Yeah, not exactly what you'd call a good day out. These aren't just fender benders we're talking about. These are the kind of incidents that make the national news, the ones that cause traffic jams longer than the M25 on a bank holiday weekend. And the aftermath? Well, let's just say it's not pretty. Roads closed for days, businesses losing money hand over fist, and the poor sods who had their cars turned into scrap metal left wondering what they did to deserve such bad luck. But it's not just the immediate chaos that we need to worry about. These accidents have a ripple effect, causing delays and disruptions that can last for weeks, even months. And let's not forget about the environmental impact. Spilled fuel, hazardous materials leaking into the water supply, it's enough to make Greta Thunberg chain herself to the nearest truck stop. But amidst the wreckage and the chaos, there are always lessons to be learned. These real-life stories serve as stark reminders of the importance of road safety, of the need for drivers to be vigilant, and of the potential consequences when things go wrong. Now, before you start fitting your car with airbags and wrapping yourself in bubble wrap, let's talk about how to avoid becoming a statistic in the next truck crash compilation. Because, believe it or not, there are things you can do to increase your chances of surviving an encounter with one of these metal behemoths. First and foremost, remember the golden rule of driving. Be aware of your surroundings. That means no texting, no applying makeup, and absolutely no attempting to eat a 3-course meal while navigating rush hour traffic. Keep your eyes on the road, and for God's sake, put your phone away. Secondly, give trucks a wide berth. I'm not talking about a polite 2-second gap here. Treat these things like they've got a force field around them, because in a way they do. Their blind spots are bigger than my ego, and their stopping distances are longer than a politician's list of broken promises. Thirdly, if you do find yourself sharing the road with a truck, be predictable. Signal your intentions clearly, don't make any sudden lane changes, and whatever you do, don't cut them off. Remember, these drivers are professionals, but they're not miracle workers. They can't stop a multi-ton vehicle on a dime, especially if you're doing your best impression of a Formula One driver. And finally, if the worst does happen and you find yourself involved in an accident with a truck, stay calm and follow the instructions of the emergency services. Remember, your safety is their top priority. So there you have it. The world of Massive truck crashes in all its terrifying glory. We've seen the shocking collisions, explored the causes behind these accidents, and witnessed the devastating impact they can have on people's lives, the roads, and even the environment. But remember, every cloud has a silver lining. By learning from these incidents, by understanding the risks and taking the necessary precautions, we can all do our part to make the roads a safer place for everyone. If you've made it this far without switching over to watch paint dry, congratulations. You've clearly got a strong stomach and a morbid fascination with automotive mayhem. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more adrenaline-fueled content, and be sure to share your thoughts, comments, and near-death experiences in the comments section below. Until next time, drive safe and try not to become a statistic.